Hey, this is Anthony from the Best in the West. You're watching the most intuitive, inquisitive, informative concrete video channel on YouTube. Today we're taking out a garage floor. I brought the Case 420 with a 550-pound Susan hammer. When I showed up to the yard, the S70 was in the back of the trailer, and I didn't want to take it out and switch it, but Kristen talked me into it and said, "I'll just bring the case." This, if it was a Bobcat, would be an S160. The S150 is not turboed. This is turboed, so it'd be equivalent. It fits in garages. There's all kinds of use residential for this size tractor. You can fit right in the garages. And this concrete was really weird. It was like had no rock in it. It was like mortar. It almost like it was from early 60s, the lady told me. So it kind of just blew apart like into a lot of hand loading with popcorn. It popcorned it out pretty good. But it's just a half a day, just a load and a half in the trailer. So I'm just breaking this thing. Your main objective when you're doing it is don't plow into it where a piece goes forward and hits the drywall. So I'll just barely lift up on it, but it just kept blowing into popcorn. You couldn't really get decent sized pieces and get it to crack and rip. And they put some like mortar or something over the top of it. I never seen anything like it. It was really wavy gravy. This is gonna be a custom garage floor. We're pouring it back with colored concrete. You'll see it. It looks pretty nice. You can see how it just blows apart. It reminded me a lot of mortar, like a mortar mix. There's a little bit of rock in it, and it was fairly thick, but I couldn't get it to crack and stage it the way I wanted to, so I just went through it, and I knew there was a couple buckets of popcorn we were going to have to shovel in. I got Milton Jr. with me, which he's becoming like my right-hand man. This guy is so steady as a rock. He just never changes. He just keeps learning, and super impressed with them. All the guys, every one of them, they're great guys. They're all the hardest working, honest people you could find. So I got Junior with me today. He does all the groundwork or whatever, switching the Bobcat out for me from the breaker to the bucket, cleaning when I leave. He gets on it. You know it's done when he's there. Here he is here. You guys see him a lot in my videos now. That's who comes for me a lot. Javier's turning into me or something, evidently. I asked him, "Hey, you want to go to a job?" And he's on vacation, so I think he's been hanging around with me too much. So I'm just going to plow in this. It had a beautiful sand base, which I was really shocked when I saw it. I thought I was going to have to either cure the dirt with Portland or take a gang of just expansive clay out of it, but that wasn't the case. It was straight 6 inches of sand underneath, so it was beautiful when I saw that. We can compact it down, water it down, rake it, move it real easy. This load ended up being pretty heavy because there's no voids in it. It was so condensed from all the popcorn. We did like 3 or 4 buckets where we shoveled just rubble into the bucket. So it was super condensed, super heavy. And that's the beauty about having all the equipment I have. I don't care what I come across. If they got a retaining wall 500 feet up a hill, I'll just tell them straight up, it's going to cost you, and I can get this done no problem. And they know who I am, and they know I can, and they're willing to pay. Because I'll just pump it up there. I know how to go about it. You have a leg to stand on. You have a leverage where who else are they going to have do it? You've seen these people on YouTube. They're not even close to being capable of it. I'm completely geared to do anything I want, any demo, place it wherever I want. You don't get discouraged when you're starting out and you don't have all this stuff. Just get one thing at a time. Just get a tractor and a dump trailer. Then get a hammer. Then get a pump. Then get an excavator. Whatever you need. Whatever you can make money with and you have a need for it, you'll know when you start off as you go if you have a need for something. And then get it because you know out of the gate, without question, you'll make money with it. That's basically how I do stuff. If I need another pump and I'm getting that many calls, I'll go buy one. You know, I need a different tractor, a different size, or I have a need for something, I'll go get it. And I'll recoup the money from the business, we'll pay for it. And then from that point on, after I pay it back, from what I paid for it, I've gotten my money back. And now I know how much I've made with it. It's general elementary math. You just keep track of what you're doing. You don't want to go in too hard, and if you lift the bucket up quick, a piece will roll forward and hit the drywall. So barely lift it up and scoot back as you're doing it. This is a pretty good load because it was so condensed, like I was saying. It's almost like there's no voids, there's no air pockets. It's completely packed, that trailer. It was going up a little slow when I was dumping it. I could hear it creaking. But pretty solid trailer. I have wires hooked to my motor, my alternator, and my 2 batteries up front that are drawing 100 amps off each, plus the battery in my trailer. So that thing's hot whenever I plug it in. I don't have to charge anything. I'll have to show you guys the system. I could let this trailer sit for a year, plug it into my truck, and it'll immediately dump. I got Kristen and Milton getting all the popcorn. Kristen's like Marissa Tomeo, my cousin Vinny, when they ask her about the car. She knows equipment, hammers, pumps, mix designs. She does half my bids for me. She does material takeoffs. About close to what I am. She knows all the equipment. She knows everything. I'd love for some of the YouTubers to have a debate with her. I mean, that would be absolutely hilarious on live. So her and Milton are used to working together doing this. I usually have them out there. But this just had so much popcorn, I thought just Milton would handle, but it just made a kind of a rubble mess. It's only about 6.5 yard garage. Garages out here standard are 22 or 21 by 20. That's pretty much a standard garage on these kind of track houses in Huntington Beach. This is kind of North Huntington, down by Warner. So I broke it out. I got it all out. Now I can come and get the perimeter clean without hitting the drywall, because they painted it and drywalled it before we came in there, so we can't mess up their nice work that they did. So I'm just going to go around the perimeter. It's not a monolithic pour. In the 60s, they poured the footing first, and then they poured the slab up to it. So there's nothing bonded together. It just peels right off. Those are water lines for the washer and dryer and all that. So you just got to be careful and pull it back and away. Once you break it off of it, they can just grab them and push it all in a pile. I took about 4 yards out the first load, and I took about 2.5 the second load. Maybe more because it was so condensed, but generally that's what I'm calculating. I'm getting in at about 4 yards. So I'm going to put the bucket on, load this up, grade the sand out. We'll come back with rakes the next day, dowel it in. But that's the beauty with the equipment I have. Everything I have, I want to be able to overkill. Or if I show up to the worst case scenario, it's like I have the horsepower to do it. I have the equipment to do it. I have the pump to do it. They're just going to pay. So I'll go on the gnarliest jobs that people won't even come close to being able to figure out how to do. And like I told the guy today, he wanted me to do a whole hillside. He wanted me to do a big retaining wall down the hill. I'm like, it's like $1,300 a linear foot. And the guy said, okay. Can you see my wall video in Laguna? I'm probably going to end up doing it if I want to. Just be over geared. Not like these one-trick ponies you see on here. Here's another driveway. Here's another patio. It's just the same thing over and over. They don't know how to diversify. They don't know how to run a business. It's just the same thing. I'm just going to keep going and going to the top financially, because that's what this is about. And teaching people and giving up what you know. Not just showing stuff and not giving stuff up. People watching you work, essentially. It's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I'm just taking this out. Usually I take it like that. You guys will see me. I'll just smoke it out in like 30, 40 minutes, the whole garage. And I can maneuver and get it. I probably actually, this was a weird garage because of the concrete. I could have used the Mini on it, and I wouldn't have had as much hand loading, but I didn't know. You never know. I don't have x-ray vision. I'm not Superman until you open it up, and already had my tractor there. This was GPS 9 minutes from my house, so I was happy again. I came back from San Bernardino County. So we're putting the case away. I'm going to go get all the material and everything, drop my tractor off at the yard. My yard's in Huntington. There we go. There's about 2% breaking the bubble. And I got Jefferson, awesome worker. Jonathan Milton's brother, who's becoming a finisher really fast. Jefferson's going to start. He didn't want to finish, now he wants to, and this guy's a complete animal. This guy will work anybody. Trust me. He's one of my favorite guys. So they're going to cut this down, drill the dowels, and another easy day. We demoed it one day because I like half days. You guys know that. And the next day we come and we just grade it, compact it, drill the dowels, and put the rebar in and the moisture barrier. California, you got to put moisture barriers because there's a lot of clay soil and it's getting saturated. It'll shrink and expand due to moisture or non-moisture, and it'll heave and crack. And that's why all the garages in Huntington Beach and Costa Mesa are all cracked, because there was no soils check, compaction test, no moisture barrier. They were just trucking in clay, straight clay. And over years of it shrinking and expanding, it's just almost like it's not even real soil for concrete anyways. So Jefferson's putting all the dowels in here and just tying it to the grid. I think it's 24 on center we put them on. So if you got a 20 by 20 garage, you need about 20 bars of 20 footers, number 3, every 2 feet, so that's 10 each way, and then about 3 or 4 for all the dowels. And we put expansion foam. Whenever it's locked in like this, you want to put expansion foam at the lowest point where all the pressure's at, because it's going to shrink and expand, and you're going to want to let it breathe a little bit. And here's a first you'll see on YouTube, a contractor with his own pump. I mean, these guys with the plywood and the claw and the pallet fork. I mean, people in California would just laugh you out of here. That's why these guys aren't West Coast finishers. In my opinion, if you're not a West Coast finisher, you're not. It's a joke. A lot of it I've seen. Maybe they're just not posting. Because I could go to any place in the country and dominate, but they couldn't come here. And that's the fact of the matter. It's just being honest. But when you see this and you see the way they do it out here, there's no reason why you can't up your game. It's not about putting you down, people down, or saying they can't do this or that. Just get on the ball and start upping your game. A lot of money comes with it when you do custom stuff and you're known, and you can knock any job out, any hillside, down the hill, staircases up, stairway to heaven, J-ditch, pour in place benches, whatever you come across, you can do it. And that's what you want to be able to do. And you want to have the right tractors, the right breakers, the right pump, the right everything, which takes time. You know, I bought the wrong stuff out of the gate, and it took a while to get out from under it. It was a big mistake. But I started with it and learned with it, and it cost me. Stuff broke down a lot. Wouldn't pump 4,500 and 5,000 pound mixes I had problems with. I had all kinds of problems. But if you don't quit, you don't fail. You know, I just kept going. I got the right pumps, talked to some different guys, what pumps you guys running. I checked them out, ran them, and I was like, whoa, here we go. And like you guys know, I've owned every pump manufacturer that's ever been made, probably. I've ran every one of them. I know the part numbers on most of them. I did all the maintenance on them. So it's a good way to get going. Is just to have the right game plan and then just pick it off one thing at a time. That would be good advice. And bidding this stuff is obviously key. And if you don't have a lot of work, sometimes you got to bite the bullet and do it a little cheaper, but you're gaining experience out of it, so you are getting paid. And sometimes in the beginning you have to do that, but once you hit full stride, your confidence should be growing with it, because you know you can do it for a fact. So why wouldn't you be confident? You know? Every time I haven't been confident in my life, it's been spiritual warfare, and that's it. There's the garage there. That color is dark gray. And thank you very much for watching the best concrete YouTube channel on YouTube.